Well, a very good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV. Glad you could join us tonight on this live broadcast. We have the latest stories lined up for you this 18th of October 2022. I'm Tony Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin. Now, the Committee on Appointments chaired by the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has on Tuesday vetted 5 Cabinet Secretary nominees as the vetting process entered its second day. Interior CS nominee Professor Kithure Kindiki, Treasury CS nominee Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, Public Service CS nominee Aisha Jumwa, Energy CS nominee Davis Churchill, and Trade CS nominee Moses Kuria appeared before the panel. Speaking when he appeared before the committee, Energy CS nominee Davis Churchill said a relook at the cost structure of parastatals will help bring down the cost of power. His counterpart, Gender and Public Service nominee Aisha Jumwa, had an emotional moment trying to explain how difficult it was for her parents to provide for her owing to her humble background. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the exercise will continue on Wednesday with Kipchumba Murkomen, Soipan Tuya, Penina Malonza, Zakaria Mwangi and Susan Wafula facing the Committee on Appointments.
If you want to declare interest, there is a proper way of doing so.
The vetting of the cabinet nominees entered its second day on Tuesday, with the Interior CS nominee Professor Kithure Kindiki, Treasury CS nominee Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, Public Service CS nominee Aisha Jumwa, Energy CS nominee Davis Churchill, and Trade CS nominee Moses Kuria facing the Committee on Appointments chaired by the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula. Speaking when he appeared before the committee, Energy CS nominee Davis Churchill said a relook at the cost structure of parastatals will help bring down the cost of power.
Diesel generation is very expensive. If you look at, I think I tried to tabulate somewhere. From hydro today, we generate power and put it on the grid at about between 3 to 4 cents US. Geothermal is at about 7 cents US, and so is solar. The earlier signed solar were at about 12 cents. But since then, the devices have really come down, and the price of solar today, we could even get it for 5 cents US, 6 cents US, and so on and so forth.
His counterpart, the Gender and Public Service nominee Aisha Jumwa, however, got emotional at some point as she narrated her journey growing up from a humble background.
They used to struggle to provide for me.
Boss yourself. We have all walked the same journey, don't worry.
To provide for me and my 27 siblings. So I went to a local school known as Takaungu Primary from 1993 to 1991.
The exercise will continue on Wednesday with Kipchumba Murkomen, Soipan Tuya, Penina Malonza, Zakaria Mwangi and Susan Wafula facing the Committee on Appointments. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Meanwhile, former Malindi MP Aisha Jumwa has denied shooting a voter in Ganda Ward during a by-election. Appearing before the committee on Tuesday, Jumwa defended her integrity, saying she does not own a gun. The Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs CS nominee is accused of shooting Gumbao Jola on 15th October 2020 after chaos erupted during a by-election in Ganda Ward, Malindi. The former legislator was arraigned at the Mombasa High Court alongside his bodyguard, Geoffrey Okuto, where the duo pleaded not guilty to murder charges. Meanwhile, the family of the deceased, through the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, on Tuesday, applied to drop the murder case against the CS nominee to have the matter settled outside of court.
As I have been saying, these cases were politically motivated, and I still stand strong and saying it again here that they were politically instigated, and I'm happy because this country is a country of laws. The DPP dropped the case that is touching on the misappropriation of funds for the NGCDF, and on the second issue of the murder case, Mr. Chairman, First, I want to empathize with the family. Indeed, there was a loss of life. It was unfortunate. But again, Mr. Chairman, as I have said, I am clear in my mind that I never shot anyone because I don't own a gun. I'm not a gun holder, and I don't know even the names of the guns in this country. The weapons that this country possesses, I don't know the names.
And President William Ruto has pledged to build more than 200,000 houses for low-income earners every year in his tenure. According to the president, the project will create at least 2 million jobs. This, he explained, will help address the unemployment crisis facing the youth, in addition to proper shelter for all. As Grace Ongoi reports, President Ruto spoke in Ongata Rongai, where he launched 734 apartments targeting ordinary Kenyans.
The controversial Hustler Fund came up during the opening of an affordable housing project in Ongata Rongai in Kajiado County, where President William Ruto promised residents the funds, which will be made available on 1st December 2022, will help uplift their businesses. Additionally, President Ruto noted that it was time Kenyans had easy access to affordable credit without fear of being listed in the CRB for inability to pay.
Tutalete pesa kwa wale wafanyabiashara ambao wana hustle kule chini, na tutahakikisha ya kwamba wale mnaangaishwa na mashailok tutafunga biashara yao, kwa sababu tutawaletea pesa ambayo itakuwa na riba ya chini, si ndio? Kuna watu wanalipa 10% per week, 10% per month, si ni kweli? So hiyo maneno nimesema tarehe 1 Disemba tunaanzisha Hustler Fund ambayo itahakikisha kila Mkenya anapata mkopo kwa riba ya chini.
Ruto at the same time pointed out that his administration was keen on working with county governments to access public land in order to achieve the ambitious plan of building 200,000 affordable houses every year, a matter he says will help address the current unemployment crisis plaguing the youth in the country.
Sisi tuko tayari kushirikiana na nyinyi, mtupatie ardhi ya county, tutawasaidia kuweka infrastructure ya barabara, kuweka stima, kuweka maji, kutengeneza sewage, alafu vile vile tuwatafutie private developers ambazo watajenga, na baadaye tutawapangia mortgage ambayo itasaidia watu katika kila sehemu ya Kenya. Is because we want to make sure that we use the resources we have well, and we make sure that we develop those resources in a manner that benefits all the citizens of Kenya. Affordable housing inawezesha mtu seremala kama huyu bwana Ocheng awe ni mwenye nyumba hapa Nairobi. Pale nyuma watu wenye walikuwa wanaweza kununua nyumba ni mtu wako na kazi kubwa, ni mtu anafanya kwa bank, mtu anafanya KRA, mtu anafanya kwa wizara, ndio walikuwa wananunua nyumba.
The ambitious plan of constructing 200,000 houses raises the question of its sustainability and the cost in the long run. This, President Ruto reaffirmed the government's commitment to employ standardization in the making of windows, doors, and all construction needs in an effort to bring down the cost of construction.
To standardize milango, to standardize madirisha, to standardize all the other products. I think the ministry tells me we have 69 products that will be standardized in an effort to bring down the cost of construction so that more Kenyans can be home owners.
Much to the relief of the residents, President Ruto promised to look into water, sewage and transport problems dragging the county behind.
Najua ya kwamba hapa Rongai tuko na shida mbili. Tuko na shida ya maji, we don't have enough water in Ongata Rongai, in Kiserian and in Ngong. Na pili, hatuna sewage katika towns hizi. Mimi nimewaeleza ya kwamba mnipatie nafasi kidogo in the next mambo ya maji, kuna mahali imekwama kidogo. I'm going to sort it out so that in the next 3 to 4 months tutakuwa na maji ya kutosha hapa.
Grace Ongoi, 4 TV Newswatch.
Moving on, Egerton University lecturers have continued their strike for the second day following the expiry of their 7-day notice on Monday, 17th October. The lecturers who gathered at the university's graduation square protested over what they termed as underpayment by the university's management. Leading the striking workers, University Academic Staff Union WASU Secretary General Dr. Constantine Wasonga noted that underfunding in public universities was becoming a crisis. Egerton Vice-Chancellor Isaac Kibwage has since refuted the claims. And Haki Africa, in collaboration with families of victims of extrajudicial killings, have lauded the government for disbanding the Special Service Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. The group now wants an independent commission of inquiry formed to investigate the actions of the disbanded unit to be set up to ensure officers found culpable of unlawful killings are charged in court. Addressing the press at the Mathare Social Justice Center, families of the victims of extrajudicial killings emphasized on the need to disband any special unit in police stations, alleging that the units are dens of extortions and killings. The group further urged the government to initiate national dialogue to address the social impacts of the killings. This comes a few days after the government disbanded the Special Service Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has pledged to strengthen the relationship between the national government and county governments and transfer of devolved functions to county governors in the next 6 months. Speaking after sharing the 18th Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council (IBEC) at the Kenya School of Government, Gachagua said his office will foster intergovernmental relations by empowering the Council of Governors in accordance with the law. The announcement followed concern regarding the role of the Council of Governors, COG, in the new government. In attendance was COG Chairperson and Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru, outgoing Cabinet Secretary for Treasury Ukur Yatani, and Nandi Governor Stephen Sang, among other leaders.
And going forward, you will be able to witness enhanced relations between the national government and the county governments through continuous engagement and mutual respect between the two levels of government. We have communicated to the governors today the request of His Excellency President William Ruto on various interventions on the part of the county governments to be in tandem with the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto and the plan. Specifically, we have requested governors to identify land as their contribution towards the implementation of affordable housing. Number two, we have communicated to the governors the request from the national government that they agree to participate in the distribution of subsidized fertilizer by providing the last mile intervention in terms of transport and distribution. We have also agreed that the governors continue to co-chair the county coordinating teams on matters to mitigate the drought situation in the country, which is already going on. We have also requested our governors to consider in areas that are prone to insecurity and require additional police reserves to consider to partner with the national government, where the national government will recruit more police reserves and provide arms and ammunition, while the county governments will provide stipends to keep those officers surviving and being able to do their work. And finally, we have briefed the governors on the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto on focusing on primary health care and level 1 intervention in matters of preventive medicine. And we have requested the governors to get into discussion with the national government on how to provide stipends jointly to community health volunteers so that we can strengthen the level 1 intervention on preventive medicine so that we can save costs on curative medicine. In a nutshell, that has been our meeting, and we will be having a retreat with the President, with the governors, to discuss the issues that I have outlined and to cement the good relationship between the two levels of government and agree on the way forward on how the two levels of government will work in a seamless manner will cooperate together, will have mutual understanding and mutual respect for the benefit of the people of Kenya.
All right, with that, let's now take a short commercial break on Hope TV Newswatch. We still have more stories coming up after this short break. Keep it Hope TV.
The RAF is in Nairobi. The RAF is a chance to showcase your talent in music, dance, poetry, acrobatics, and many more, and stand a chance to win 500,000 Kenyan shillings, a recording deal at Hope Studios, and many more prizes. The RAF is a space for talented youth between the ages of 18 and 24 years. Auditions in Nairobi will be held on Thursday, 26th October 2022 at Siton Valley Road in Dennis White Hall from 8 a.m. To register, send an SMS starting with #TheRAF, your name, county, and talent to 22232 to get an invite to the auditions happening near you. For more information, please call 0709-861-223. Remember to carry a copy of your national ID to the auditions. The RAF, identifying talent, inspiring passion.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Let's continue with our broadcast. Now, residents of Taita Taveta County are lamenting losses after their crops were destroyed by elephants just a few days after the government compensated human-wildlife conflict victims in the area. The residents said they are always forced to harvest their crops prematurely so as to avoid losing everything. They've called on President William Ruto to intervene and resolve their problems.
Tukiavuna yakiwa machanga bado hayajakomaa vizuri, yako na hatari. Kuoza yanaoza na kuna hii inakuwa na green aflatoxin hii. Sasa ni hatari pia kwa watoto. Ni hatari sisi pia kwa afya. Sasa hapo tunaogopa, tunahofia. Manake tunavuna haya mahindi hajakaa tayari, tumefanya kuyalazimisha kwa sababu ya hii shida ya hizi ndovu. Hizi ndovu zimetunyanyasa sana, zimetutia umaskini. Tumejaribu sana kupiga umaskini na teke, lakini ndovu ndo wametuletea umaskini. Manake tunatumia mafuta generator, tumetimba visima tukijaribu tufukuze bala njaa, lakini ndovu wametuletea umaskini wa njaa. Hata tujui tunafanya nini. Tafadhali kweli tunaomba msaada.
Na nimetumia gharama kufungua shamba na kuchimba kisima na generator, halafu nikakuza mahindi kwa kunywesha maji kwa mafuta ya petroli. Na kwa kweli petroli ni ghali, nimepitia changamoto nyingi, vibarua na hiyo kunywesha, na nilipopanda mahindi yameweza kuchanua, ndovu ametuvamia shambani. Na sasa hivi yanatulazimisha tuyaondoe mapema, ambapo mahindi haya hata haijatosha kukauka na haijatosha kufanya mbegu. Na mpaka sasa hivi tunalalamika tukiwa tunachezea hivi na ndovu, baadaye tutapata mbegu wapi?
Tunaomba usaidizi. Hao wanyama wamekuwa kero kwetu. Pia hata kwa watoto wa shule, sababu tuna watoto wanasomea Mata na ni secondary. Wanatoka hapa saa 10 usiku. So inakuwa ni changamoto pia, hao watoto wako hatarini sababu wanaweza patana ndovu pale ikamuumiza. Mimi mwenyewe juzi hapa saa 11 nilipigiwa simu, kuna mahali kulikuwa kumeibwa punda. Nikikimbia, nilikuwa na pikipiki, nilipatana ndovu hapa kwa shamba. Hata karibu ingenigonga. Kwa hivyo sisi maombi yetu, tunaomba Mheshimiwa Rais, tulichagua juzi, tunaomba atuangalie masuala kama haya.
Siaya Governor James Orengo has challenged local residents to embrace agribusiness to boost food security and tackle rampant poverty. He said though the county and the entire Nyanza region was endowed with good climate and fertile soils, little has been done to exploit the resources for the betterment of the society. Orengo was speaking at Simero village in Igunja sub-county during this year's World Food Celebrations.
Mimi naomba sana katika kaunti yetu ya Siaya, ambapo zile uzalishaji ambayo tulikuwa nafanya zamani ya kilimo biashara. Zamani tulikuwa na pamba, tulikuwa na machinery hapa katika kaunti ya Siaya. Kulikuwa wakati mwingine hapa Ugunja, sehemu zingine za Ugunja, mpaka Ugenya, mpaka Game. Kulikuwa wakulima wa kahawa ya Robusta. Kulikuwa wakati mwingine pia ilikuwa tumeanza kidogo kidogo ukulima wa miwa, ili zile factories za kusaga miwa hiyo sukari ipate mavuno ya miwa. Tujaribu ili tuwe na heshima, tujitosheleze kwa chakula. Tukikosa kuwa na chakula ya kutosha, hiyo heshima yetu itakuwa na heshima duni.
About 60 needy children are expected to benefit from a free heart surgery to be conducted at the Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital in Mombasa that began Monday. This is after the county government of Mombasa partnered with the Sharjah Charity International Organization to bring together 14 specialist doctors to conduct the procedures. The doctors drawn from the United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, and the Netherlands will conduct both open and closed heart surgeries. Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Nasir officially opened the week-long free heart surgery camp as he also toured the cath lab and the main theatre at the hospital.
Shukuru madaktari wa hapa Coast General na pia vile vile shirika la Sharjah Charity International ambao tumeweza kushirikiana pamoja kufanya upasuaji wa moyo wa aina mbili. Upasuaji ule ambao ni wa wazi na ule mwingine ni wa minimal invasion, yani inawekwa ile pipe ndani. Na nia na madhumuni ni kuweza kutibu takriban watoto 60. Mpaka leo hii leo asubuhi upande mmoja wale ambao kwamba ni wa open tayari washafanya kadhaa na wale wa closed tayari washafanya pia kadhaa. Na sisi binadamu ni sababu tu, lakini zaidi ni kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu.
And as His Excellency has said, we are programmed to do more than 60 cases at the hospital, both under new technology called closed heart surgery or through the cath lab, and open heart surgery for complex cases. As His Excellency has said, we are the only county that is doing such procedures, and we are happy to partner with Sharjah Charitable Trust. They have brought for us doctors from the United Arab Emirates. They have brought for us doctors from Saudi. We have cardiothoracic surgeons, we have pediatric cardiologists, we have cardiac anesthetists, all joining as a team, critical care nurses as well.
Na tuwashukuru madaktari hawa ambao wamejitolea kuacha shughuli zao kule kuja kufanya kazi na sisi ili waweze kuhudumia watoto wetu na hali ya shida katika umaskini na njaa na juu yake kuwa na watoto ambao ni wagonjwa. Tuwashukuru county government na governor Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir kwa kuja haraka kuja kutuungana na sisi ili kuhakikisha jambo hili laendelee.
Let's now look at what is happening internationally. Ethiopian authorities now say they've taken control of 3 towns in Tigray, the embattled northern region that has seen a resurgence of fighting since August. The government communication service, in a statement Tuesday, said the towns of Shire in the region's northwest and Alamata and Korem in the south have been taken from Tigrayan control. According to the statement, Ethiopian forces had taken maximum care to protect civilians from harm and that the 3 towns were taken without fighting in urban areas. Ethiopia is under pressure to begin the peace talks that were set to kick off this month in South Africa. They were delayed because of logistical issues. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said Monday the situation in northern Ethiopia is spiraling out of control, with the UN and the African Union calling for an immediate ceasefire. Fighting resumed between Tigray forces and federal troops in August, bringing an end to a ceasefire in place since March that had allowed much-needed aid to enter the region. Eritrean troops are also fighting on the side of Ethiopia's federal military. The UN Children's Agency UNICEF has warned that ongoing drought in Somalia is threatening to cause deaths of children on a scale not seen in half a century. According to UNICEF, at least one child is being admitted in hospital for malnutrition in Somalia every minute. In August alone, more than 44,000 children were in hospital with severe malnutrition. Meanwhile, pressure is now mounting on authorities to formally declare famine in order to facilitate an emergency response. The worst affected parts of the country are largely occupied by militants from the Al-Shabaab group who have curtailed the humanitarian response. The drought, which is linked to climate change, is the worst to hit the country in 40 years. 5 failed rainy seasons have led to massive crop failure, livestock deaths and mass displacements. The UN is warning that 6.7 million people will need food aid in Somalia in the coming months, about 40% of the population.
Thousands of people throng cities every single day looking for opportunities to make their lives better. They are employees, business owners, or just opportunity seekers desiring to have a breakthrough in their lives. Join me, DM Tanki, as we take this journey from the perspective of different successful entrepreneurs and corporate employees on Occupy Today every Sunday from 8 p.m. exclusively on Hope TV. Look and live.
The RAF is in Nairobi. The RAF is a chance to showcase your talent in music, dance, poetry, acrobatics, and many more, and stand a chance to win 500,000 Kenyan shillings, a recording deal at Hope Studios, and many more prizes. The RAF is a space for talented youth between the ages of 18 and 24 years. Auditions in Nairobi will be held on Thursday, 26th October 2022 at Siton Valley Road in Dennis Whitehall from 8 a.m. To register, send an SMS starting with hashtag #TheRAF, your name, county, and talent to 22232 to get an invite to the auditions happening near you. For more information, please call 0709-861-223. Remember to carry a copy of your national ID to the auditions. The RAF, identifying talent, inspiring passion.
Let's continue with business news. East Africa investment management firm RCA Lion Asset Management has presented its fourth quarter 2022 investor pulse that highlights key trends in investments. Speaking during a media briefing in Nairobi, senior portfolio manager Richard Murithi said inflation rates are likely to remain elevated in sub-Saharan Africa as geopolitical uncertainty, especially the war in Ukraine, will continue to affect businesses. However, he highlighted that investors still have an opportunity to invest and generate strong returns.
If you look at the US dollar so far this year, it has strengthened, obviously wreaking havoc across the world. Now it's strengthening because the US Fed, the chairman being Jerome Powell, is trying to unwind a lot of what they did in response to the COVID pandemic, which just means they increased the monetary base, pumped in a lot of money into these economies. A lot of that money found its way into equity markets. We know how equity markets performed 2020 and 2021. If you look at the DXY, which is a dollar index against most major currencies, up 18%. If you look at recently, I think less than 2 months ago, the euro hit parity with the dollar, which just means that the euro and the dollar are exchanging for, one for one.
For us to even get more value in the current levels of prices that we have, there will be trading opportunities here and there. The market has quite swayed a bit here and there, even if you look at on a year-to-date basis. So I would focus more on crystallizing more of those opportunities, really, and not waiting more for a share buyback on some of those companies that are listed.
KCB Group PLC has signed up to the African Business Leaders Coalition, ABLC, to bolster actions in addressing the climate change crisis. The coalition, convened under the UN Global Compact, brings together companies across Africa to help drive more initiatives on addressing pressing sustainability issues such as human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption on the continent ahead of the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP27, gathering in Egypt next month.
Since becoming a founding signatory member in 2019, and the principles of responsible banking, where we are a signatory. We do actually undertake an annual carbon footprint assessment to monitor internal resource consumption to keep our carbon footprint within the 10% reducing trajectory. And we do make our commitment on net zero, by 2050, pushing on the famous 2030 target at the moment. But most importantly for us as a bank is to screen credit facilities for environmental and social risk. I think Ambassador did mention, picked out Nairobi River, picked out Thika. And I think as bankers, if we don't lend responsibly, if we don't cut out that pollution, if we don't screen our facilities to make sure that we are not adding more damage, then we will be doing a lot of disfavor to this country. So we want to ring fence, review everything going back, but make sure we have standards going forward. And therefore, we have actually assessed 336 billion in the last 2 years. And you also know the central bank guidelines on climate-related financial risk management procedures were out. And therefore, we are also bound by those guidelines. And actually, we must commend the regulator for going out of the way to make sure these guidelines are followed.
Over 2,000 farmers in Ilmotiok Ward, Narok West Sub-County have benefited from smart farming training thanks to Farm to Market Alliance, FTMA, that is working with the county government to boost farming in the area. Narok County Chief Officer in charge of Environment, Water and Sanitation, Obadiah Rono, said one of the key things that the residents have learnt is to mitigate climate change and increase crop production through proper crop farming. Rono, who spoke during a farmers' field day held at Ilmotiok Trading Centre, encouraged farmers to put up tree nurseries in every ward so as to increase the forest cover in the county, which will in turn mitigate climate change.
Kuna kuwahimiza kupanda miti na kuchunga ile miti tayari wamepanda, na pia kuweza kuwahimiza wajue jinsi ya kufanya ukulima kwa ile njia ya kisasa ambayo inaweza kutusaidia kuilinda ile mchanga ambayo tuko naye, na pia ile inaweza linda mazingira.
Sisi kama mashirika sio ya kiserikali tunaingia kusaidia county government kuweza kutekeleza miradi yao. Na hapa mahali penye tuko hapa tumekuja kuwezesha jamii kuelewa umuhimu wa kupanda miti, na sana sana ambayo inaweza kusaidia kupigana na mabadiliko ya hali ya hewa, na sana sana miti ambayo tunahimiza jamii ni ile miti ambayo ni rafiki ya mimea kwa shamba, ambayo inaweza kukua pamoja na mimea. Na tumepata mkulima mmoja hapa ambaye ako na nursery ya kutosha, yuko na hizo miti, na tumeweza kuelezana vile inaweza kupandwa. Kuna miti kama miti ya gravelia, kuna miti ya matunda kama avocado, kuna miti ya machungwa, na kuna miti nyingine mingi ambayo inaweza kusaidia mkulima kuweza kumletea hela.
Let's take a look at some sports news now. Athletics Kenya is targeting junior athletes as they seek to take the anti-doping war to the next level. With 23 athletes who have either been banned or suspended this year, the Federation has taken the anti-doping education to junior runners in a bid to equip them with anti-doping rules before transitioning. The Federation, in conjunction with Athletics Integrity Unit officials, has asked the young runners to be wary of banned substances in their elite running. And Real Madrid striker Karim Benzema has won the men's Ballon d'Or for 2022. The 34-year-old scored 44 goals in 46 matches last season as Real won the Champions League, another La Liga title along with the Spanish and European Super Cups. Benzema was crowned in a ceremony in Paris on Monday evening ahead of Sadio Mane in second and Kevin De Bruyne in third, making him the first French winner of the Ballon d'Or since Zinedine Zidane in 1998. All right, with that, we've come to the end of this live broadcast of Newswatch tonight. Many thanks for watching this far and for your support. I'd like to also make an announcement and say that to our viewers, that this is my last bulletin at Hope Media. I know this is a bittersweet moment and would like to thank you, viewer, for support, tuning in and contributing in every way to our bulletins. I also want to thank CITAM for the opportunity to serve and the opportunity for growth. I'm deeply, deeply indebted. And to my colleagues at Hope Media, both Hope FM and Hope TV, thank you so much for your support. You're always our family. Thank God for the support, for the opportunity to serve, and looking forward to this next chapter that He has unveiled. Thank you so much. I'll see you around. My name is Tony Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Have a good night, and God bless.